I guys promised to tell you about the Venezuela and what is gonna happen. But first of all, let's talk about what is Venezuela. Venezuela is the first country in the world with the oil reserves. Reserves it's not even put up, but it's reserved. But in fact, 70% of that oil is heavy oil, sand oil. Well, we're gonna talk about this a little bit later during my documentary. Um, so what's up with Venezuela? Venezuela has huge humidity, horrible humidity. So it's 90% of its territory is unavailable for normal life. Like it has a bunch of mountains like Andes and a bunch of jungle territory, which is makes the people um, even the clothes route there. So it's like I don't know, you cannot even if you're a white person, if you've never been in the jungle, you probably won't survive in this type of jungle. So no way for crops, no way for any farming. So nothing like this. So it's just the territory, but in fact the territory is big. So Venezuela is like twice the Ukraine. Ukraine is the biggest European, uh, one of the biggest European countries. Russia is the biggest, but Ukraine is the second one. So you have to understand that this territory is large and very large to control. And I think um, the name of Venezuela also sends us towards thinking about Venetians and the Phoenicians, whatever. So it's not a simple name. So is Caracas, the capital of Venezuela, because I've been talking about the crow and red breadberry, and what crow is and what is actually the punishment is called cara. So the crow says car, and the punishment is cara. So Caracas looks like a punishment. So it's like a punishment, and we've seen a bunch of oil sands there. So it's like maybe it was also buried. We have to check these facts, in fact. But what is really gonna happen next? What we see right now is the fight between the globalist powers. One power is China, and the second power is so-called globalist corporations, right? Those who really invested in Venezuela and want their money back with the big profit, because there's no profit right now in the market. So they try to shake the market and think about what is going to happen next. What are they going to do? Or they going to dump the oil price, or they're going to be skyrocketing, right? So you have to control Venezuela to control the oil prices, because OPEC is not good enough, as we can see. So Russia is under control when we have oil prices in our hands. So, and no national players are going to be messing if Russia is not messing. So globalists are winning big time if they get Venezuela. So that's why China also, as a part of globalist team, wants to get control of Venezuela as a communist country. So that's why Maduro and Chavez were communists. That's why China is the biggest investor there. But of course, Venezuela can't sell the oil to China for with a very good profit because of the logistics. So Venezuela's biggest customer is USA. That's why USA also invested in oil companies. And before Chavez, most of the employees in those companies were actually American taught and American citizens. So they were studying in America or being Americans. So in fact, they stole all the software when Chavez tried to take control of this state company, which was the biggest oil company in Venezuela. And they just stole these keys, those keys to the software. So even the administration team, which is working on computer security in those companies, in a state company, remember this is a big state company, not a private commercial company. It's just state company. So they stole the keys, and so those admins were supposed to hack their own system to get control back, because one of the tankers was supposed to arrive that day, and it totally you know, lost the coordinates. All this software was erased and malfunctioning. So they had to do it, because if they could not do it, couldn't have done it, the tanker probably will hit the land and maybe have huge catastrophic events like ecological oil spills, something like this. So it's very heavy situation. It was very hard to accomplish it, but they hacked the system and they actually got control back. But you know what happened to Chavez next? They got Chavez stolen in like 2003, 2004, maybe something like this. They made some type of riot in some part of Caracas. Caracas is not a single city. It has like 4 or 3 cities around them. One of the cities is for rich, and a couple of others are for poor, and each of them has its own taxes, its own police, its own mayor, and all this stuff. So it's just, you know, historically Venezuela is has lack of control. You know, nobody can control it. So right now what we see is there's just huge demonstrations of people, like huge crowds. The same type of crowd was when they stole Chavez from the people. They told the Chavez, you know, retreated and you know, tried to sign the refusal from the presidency, and that's why they put their own president. That's why put in resident. This is the president allegory, or whatever you call it, anagram. So they stole Chavez, and Chavez figured how to call his daughter, because one of those guards that was guarding him gave him his cell phone. So he called his daughter, and the daughter called Fidel Castro in Cuba. So Cuban leader Fidel Castro announced that Chavez was not retreating, that he was, you know, stolen and kept as a hostage by those generals, those coup generals. So these riot, all this stuff. So like help Chavez and stuff like this. So people went on the streets and were just, you know, totally erased this new regime that was, you know, celebrating the inauguration and eating their desserts in some restaurant or huge palace, whatever. So they just, you know, tried to escape that fake president for 24 hours. Just, you know, Pedro, I don't remember his name. It's like Pedro Short. They called him Pedro the Shorty, because he was the shortest president they ever had. So he just retreated to Colombia and, you know, and left. So this is what's gonna happen this time. Probably this is the case, because they're gonna probably push Maduro towards the escape of the country, or localizing him in some tight conditions where he can inform the people what really is going on, because they have like 50% of those who support Maduro, majorly the poor people that know what Chavez and Maduro did to establish the situation, because it was totally pathetic country before Chavez. You believe me, they were living in the package boxes, you know, package boxes. And Chavez built them some houses at least, you know. He gave him medicine, he gave him, you know, medical treaties, also medical security or something like that. So gave him some schools, some, you know, social guarantees. And those people who were in power before Chavez, they didn't like it, because Venezuela was a big oil drilling source and resource. They could have steal this oil for free, and Chavez, you know, tried to stop it just because of that. The oil prices were rising in the beginning of 2010s, you know, whatever you call them. So it's like, it's all because of this fight. You know, guys, they are fighting each other. The communists are fighting the capitalists. You know, they're both globalists, and they want to show that they're best right now, and so the people can be following. Those rich elites are picking the team right now. So what are the nationals doing? Nationals are doing nothing, because it's not their game. So probably it's gonna be an exchange. If Venezuela is gonna be fallen, and they're gonna switch the president for the globalist one, or China will put their own president. So something's gonna happen, either this or that, but who knows. Well, what's gonna happen next? The national is gonna be, you know, attacking in Ukraine, so Ukraine is gonna be, you know, coming back to Russian influence and nationals influence. So this is what's gonna happen. This is what they decided with Trump, and probably this is the change right now. They're just watching how China and those globalists have been fighting in Venezuela and figure out who's winning. And after that, if Maduro is lucky enough to stay in power, they're gonna do nothing. If he is refusing from the president's rejection his, you know, his leadership, they're gonna be putting the Chinese one, or maybe Russia's gonna be supporting the Chinese candidate, and Trump's gonna be supporting the liberal candidate. I mean, he's already doing this, in fact, you know. So if he's losing, then the Congress is gonna be beaten very bad. So might as well Trump supporters figure out that. But because if it's just a fight between two dogs, two barking dogs. So they have their own one and only master, the controller of those dogs, and he's saying like, whatever, whoever's gonna be, I don't care. Just give me the oil, give me the big oil prices that I can control, and, you know, make money on that. So that's what they're doing right now, just controlling the best possible oil player, which is right now very loose, right? Very loose, and this is like a lime duck, whatever. Thanks a lot for watching, and I hope you like my explanation and see what's gonna happen pretty fast. So like a couple of months and everything's gonna be unfolding. So does Ukraine, because Ukraine is also be unfolding in a couple of months. See you later.